Welcome to the Vanilla to Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
And welcome to episode 144 of Vanilla to Vixen. We are your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're also sometimes known as
the Naughty Couple.
Hello, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
Welcome to another bumper episode of Vanilla to Vixen. And bumpers, and I'm quite a big fan of bumpers.
Are you?
I am. We've got a beautiful couple on today.
Yes, we do.
Gorgeous couple of guests who are going to tell us all about their adventures in the naughty hobby.
Yes.
So hang about for that. That is the main meat of the show a little bit later on. But in the meantime, I've got a little story to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Sent in to me. This is by Mr. and Mrs. N, but not that one. We are not you, Mr. and Mrs. N.
Oh, bless them.
So yes. Email to us. It says, a guy's driving round and he sees a sign in front of a house. Talking dog for sale. He rings the bell and the owner tells him that the dog's in the backyard. The guy goes into the backyard and sees a Labrador retriever sitting there. Do you talk? He asks. Yes, replies the lab. So what's your story then? The lab looks up and says, well, I discovered I could talk when I was pretty young and I wanted to help the government. So I told the CIA about my gift and in no time at all they had me jetting from country to country, sitting in rooms with spies and world leaders because no one figured a dog would be able to talk and eavesdrop. I was one of their most valuable spies for 8 years running. But all the jetting around really tired me out and I knew I wasn't getting any younger. So I wanted to settle down. I signed up for a job at the airport to do some undercover security work, mostly wandering near suspicious characters and listening in. I uncovered some incredible dealings, drug deals and all sorts. I thwarted all of them. I was awarded a batch of medals. I got married, had a mess of puppies, and now I'm just retired. The guy's amazed at this. He goes back to the owner and he says, that dog, what do you want for the dog? Oh, $10, says the guy. The guy says, that dog is amazing. Why on earth are you selling him so cheap? And the guy goes, because he's a liar, he didn't do any of that shit.
That's a good one.
There you go. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. N. From Mr. and Mrs. N. And we've also had another little message.
Oh, yeah.
And it says, Dear Mr. N, following on from your unsuccessful boat trips, prisons, and Watchtower. Yeah. We had the Watchtower the other week. So for anybody that doesn't know, people keep sending us in possible venues for V2V events that are available for lease and some of them are actually available for sale. Okay. And this is quite a funny one. It says, Dear Mr. N, I didn't think you would even need to change the sign on this building that is available for lease in Derbyshire.
Oh, okay.
Derbyshire, that's not too far from us.
No, not too far.
That'd be handy.
Yeah.
That'd be okay. Yeah, we could do that. Let's have a quick look, open it up. And it is Jumping Fun. Jumping Fun soft play building.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Can you imagine? Yeah, jumping fun. Come down to V2V jumping fun. Thank you very much. I'll have to have a little think about that one. I'm just having a quick look. It's 16,000 square foot. That's 1,500 square meters. It might not be big enough for sort of a club. I don't know. I don't know, because then you look at sort of smaller clubs like Purple Mamba. They're amazing.
Yeah,
that's an amazing club.
You never know. Don't rule it out, Mr. N.
You've got me thinking now. Adult soft play centre. That could be, yeah.
Everything's wipeable.
Yes, and some of them have those. Oh, you can have quite fun in the ball pit, can't you? Oh, it's all. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Make a little note of that. Talking of Purple Mamba and clubs and stuff, we've got a couple of big events coming up.
We do.
So, Saturday the 14th of June, we are at Liberty Elite.
Yes.
And we are hosting our V2V Sweet Treats Party.
Yay, one I'm hoping to attend.
So for anybody that didn't attend last year's, which that'd be Mrs.
Including
N,
me.
because she was poorly and spent most of the night in one of the rooms of the Liberty Elite. She did try and make it, bless her. But yes, so we're hosting one this year that Mrs. N will hopefully 100% attend.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And we've got lots of sweet treats. We've got chocolate, we've got cake, we've got
all sorts of things.
We've got top DJ, and we've also got a photographer offering free boudoir photo shoots.
Yeah.
To couples.
All complimentary, so, you know.
Update your Fab profile.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing party, that one is.
It is.
Sweet treats. Something a little bit to start the summer rolling, I think.
Yes.
So that is Saturday the 14th of June. And then we are making our debut.
Oh, I'm nervous.
No. We are going to be hosting the V2V Pampas Grass and Pineapple Party.
We are.
At, wait for it, the Purple Mamba Club in Nottingham.
Yay!
The amazing Chris and Amanda are welcoming us.
Oh, absolutely. They, bless them. We did talk about it and they were like, yeah, let's go for it. And I've been chatting to Amanda on and off about what things we can do for that evening.
Now, yes, I want to talk to you just briefly about that. You have given me so much grief over my, let's say, adventurous plans.
Yeah.
To hire prisons and various things for V2V. And you're going worse on this Pampas Grass and Pineapple Party. You really are.
It's not me. Blame Amanda. She's really into it. She's come up with some great ideas.
Let me get my list. Hold on. Let me get my list. Here it is. Topless space hopper races.
Yeah.
Have you thought this through? Can you imagine the first aid box?
The funny thing is, so myself and Busty and Cabin Girl.
Yes.
Who are quite...
None of you are... no.
We're quite well endowed up there.
Yes.
We have said that we would not be able to take part, otherwise we would be having black eyes left, right and centre.
This is true.
This
is true. Yes. However, once again, as a voyeur, I'll be quite happy. I'm sure me, Saucy and Roger will be very happy to see
Yeah,
this.
I'm sure. I think Mr. Mother Trucker actually said he wanted to do the stand at the finish line, waiting for that one.
I am sure I'll be very happy standing and watching the three of you, and obviously Mrs. Mother Trucker. Perhaps we could get Mrs. Mother Trucker as you know that the girls like who wave the flag on drag racing.
Yeah.
We could get Mrs. Mother Trucker because she's,
okay.
Yeah, the whole crew involved in this one.
This one's going to be a jam-packed evening. There's also a chance to play Naked Twister. Mm-hmm. And we've also got some entertainment, live entertainment.
Oh, yes.
Courtesy of the Purple Mamba Club.
It's a top cabaret act.
It is.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
This is absolutely going to be an amazing party. You do not want to miss it. It is Friday the 25th of July. Friday the 25th of July. I hope you're not on holiday. If you are, don't want to be you, because you're missing the best party. It's going to be V2V at Purple Mamba for a very, very special Pampas Grass and Pineapple.
Yeah, I mean, this is a proper full-on 1970s swing night.
Yes.
So keys in a bowl. Not literally.
Not for sex.
Not for sex.
It's going to be fun.
Yes.
It's fun. Remember, V2V parties are all ideal for newcomers.
Yes.
So we don't expect you to, be springing around, flexing each other about. It's a bit of fun. So we're going to do like speed dating with keys in the bowl.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Final details to be worked out, aren't they? Amanda's very kindly offered to do us cheese and pineapple.
Yeah.
On a hedgehog. Obviously not a real hedgehog.
I'm glad about that. Could have the RSPCA after us.
Myself and Cabin Girl
Yes.
have been looking at proper retro sweets.
I see.
So proper, the sweets you used to have in the 70s. If you are of that age.
I'm still very concerned about the first aid box of that space opera event. I might have to speak to Amanda about that.
It is going to be awesome. Now, this is a ticketed event.
Yes, this is a prepay event.
It is a prepay event.
So you need to go to Purple Mamba's website, which if you just Google Purple Mamba Club, it will come straight up. And if you go into their events, 25th of July, Friday, V2V, you can pre-order your tickets. Make sure you're on the guest list first, which is via us. So if you go on to Fab Naughty Couple, which is spelled NAUGHTYCP1, or send us an email to naughtycouple NAUGHTYCP1 @yahoo.com. Send us an email, get on the guest list, and then you can pre-buy your tickets straight away for the Pampas Grass and Pineapple Party.
Yay!
There's a lot of peas
There's a lot of peas in there. It's going to be awesome, though.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. Now it's that time of the show for the fun slot.
Oh, it's my favourite slot.
It's the beautiful Mrs. Mother Trucker with this week's Fun Fact Friday.
Fun Fact Friday.
Why does a pirate wear an eye patch? The eye patch could be used to prepare one eye to see in the dark. So when they would go below deck, they could swap the eye patch from one eye to the other and see with the eye that is already adjusted to low light conditions.
Oh my goodness. I don't know where she gets them from.
Oh, another corker.
It's like, I don't know.
She leaves you speechless most weeks.
I know. It's like, I think my Google would be broken if I Googled some of the things that she reads out.
Bless her.
And now it's on quickly to the main event.
Yes, it's the meat of the show.
They have been waiting in our green room, which is also known as the garden shed. They're here in person, the fabulous Mr. and Mrs. B.
Yay! Hi guys!
Welcome to Vanilla to Vixen. So, let's start off with how long you've been in the naughty hobby. How long have you been together?
Together? Well, we got together when we was 14.
Okay.
At high school.
Proper teenage sweethearts.
Yeah. First girlfriend, first kiss, first everything else. You can figure that one out.
Yeah.
5 babies later.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. All girls.
Really?
All girls.
Bless you.
That is, isn't it? Guys with more testosterone have female babies.
I have absolutely
that's
no
no
idea
idea.
whether you read that
Apparently so,
somewhere
yeah.
or
Maybe. I mean, you can grow a good beard. That's
There you
normally
go.
a sign of,
High five! There we go.
I don't know, the beard's only a very new addition. It's only about 3 weeks old.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks cool.
I've been clean shaven forever since. And then all of a sudden you decided, like, babe, grow a beard.
yeah.
It's like, okay. you is the boss.
We'll try the beard look.
So how do you get from being childhood sweethearts, married, 5 kids, to then being in the naughty hobby?
It started off as a bit of a joke, really, a couple of years ago, and you're just scrolling Facebook and you start reading adverts of people doing OnlyFans. I was like, babe, do you want to earn some extra money?
Literally that. And I was
It's
like,
literally that.
it's not going to work.
You know, we just thought it was going to be a joke, and then, I was like, why not? signed us up. I said, do you fancy it or not? And you're just like, yeah, why not?
Good a bash. Didn't think, I thought, no, nothing.
Didn't think it'd ever take off or anything.
£10,000 later, in 5 months.
This is so cool.
I think you might be our very first OnlyFans.
Oh, this is awesome.
I've had some really fun and not so fun times, a lot of interesting times. My top one on OnlyFans was a guy in Iceland. We'd finished our little call session and he had like 5 minutes left and he said to me on the call, do you want to come outside and see the Northern Lights? And he took his phone outside and showed me the Northern Lights on video call.
That's cool.
Hey,
That's cool.
that wasn't a euphemism then when he said, shall I show you
No,
the Northern
it was
Lights?
actual Northern Lights on his phone and it was like...
She'd already seen all the other bits.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's so nice. This shows how improvised this show is because we obviously spoke to you like on Fab. Was it on Fab?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And I know absolutely nothing.
No.
And so now it's like, this show is going to be a lot about OnlyFans and stuff because you are the first person. You are our guinea pig for OnlyFans.
Yeah, we've met some, I wouldn't say friends, but definitely acquaintances and...
People that you still don't mind speaking to when they pop up every now and again.
Because we keep in touch on like Snapchat and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, like some characters all over the world, like police officers in Texas. I've seen their belts with their guns and stuff in there. Like,
In his office in the police station, whipping his trousers and belt off on his desk to have a play around with
nurses
Mind
in
you, this
toilets.
was like 8 o'clock in the morning over here, and whatever time it was in America, and
It kind of reminds us of our beginning because obviously it was just that we didn't get paid for it because back in our day
Really screwed up
Yeah,
there, didn't
you really
we?
messed it like
Mr. Trickler.
back in our day we had something called Yahoo Chat, which was like a shit.
that.
You wouldn't because you're far too young. Looking at you, you're far too young. I'm feeling very old now.
I've heard of MSN Messenger. Is it similar to that?
Very
Yes, it's
similar.
very
Yeah.
similar.
It's
It's
very
all like
similar.
back in the days of AOL Online where like
Yeah,
you
that's
have
it.
mail.
Yes.
That's exactly it. And so we did it for shits and giggles with Mrs. N. And
It wasn't even really giggles because I was so nervous, so shy. I wouldn't even talk to anybody.
Really?
I'd be like, I don't mind if they want to just, see my tits or watch us play, but don't ask me to talk to them. It was
eye
just like-
contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just really embarrassed about it. It
Yeah.
was just, and now look, you see?
So it's like, this stuff has been going on for years. Like, I didn't even know. I thought it was like a relatively like...
no.
Wow.
So like the OnlyFans, after me being me, doing all my research, looking at Reddits and everything
Everything we've done
soon
has been
sort of
highly
started to
researched.
realise that OnlyFans wasn't all it's cracked out to be.
Okay.
Because people would have to subscribe or pay, and it was always in dollars. Then there'd have to be a certain amount in your account before you could withdraw your money. Then they take their 20%. Then you get the conversion rate. And then after scrolling Twitter, because that was the land of all that's naughty and everything, you start realising that there's people on there that are quite happy. You just send your money for whatever they want.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up going most of the time, wasn't it? Towards the end of it all.
And there was one guy that came on and he was like, I want you to fuck your dildo, but I want it to be my best friend, and pretend and walk in and see that
Okay.
and be like, why are you fucking my best friend? And then you were like, oh,
That works.
That works, babe.
That works.
So we spoke about it for a bit and then we didn't for about a couple of months, and we just...
It was about a year, weren't it? But
Yeah.
that was all pre-wedding. Then everything sort of like the wedding took over, and then it was honeymoon, and then
And it was still there, weren't it?
it's still in the back of my head. And
Still
then
there.
I'll never forget, you weren't feeling very well the one night. I was just laying on the settee, just scrolling, and I think I came across something about what things to try, and I just texted in.
Yeah,
I
what
just texted her.
fantasies?
He goes,
Any
what do you want to try in the
fantasies?
bedroom? Any fantasies you want to do? And you was like, I'm not telling you. You tell me yours. So I was like, do you know what?
This.
Watch this space. Right, a paragraph and a half of like how to work it, what would work and whatnot. And I was like, I don't know how it's going to work. But then you was like, yeah, okay, that works.
The options you were like...
And I
you
said,
were
well,
like-
the options to try it, to sort of like get the scenario in my head of how
This
it would
is
work, of
terrible.
like me coming into the room and you having sex with somebody and you just look at me and say, come here, come join me. I'm like, go on then.
Mr. N, he knows exactly where you how you're feeling about this.
Well, I've been obviously doing this for like years and years, and I still don't know why I have like the hot wife kink.
Couldn't tell you, but it's cool.
The hot wife's a new kink, by the way.
Is it your new kink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're very new to the Hot Wife King. We're still trying to find our feet with that one. Definitely with the trust of people.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yes.
like that's what I find the hardest. You can read a good judge a character, but obviously it's me that's
physically involved.
Yeah. So I find that quite difficult to like.
Yeah.
And I know in the beginning when we first started talking about, we gone from fantasies to then it becoming a reality, and I went through quite a few feelings of, you know, why does he want to have sex with somebody else? You know, should I be upset that he wants me to do that?
I mean, also as well, I remember in the very early days, it was like, obviously we did the Yahoo chat with one person, and then we had the chance to meet him, and you said, I'm only going to have sex with that one person. So I'm not going to... We didn't even start the naughty hobby as the naughty... We didn't say, oh yeah, we're going to be swingers. Shits and giggles.
If anything, we actually turned around and said, I'm not a swinger. That's the first thing we said. I'm not a swinger.
Not taking this any further.
Well, no,
That was us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So once we'd sort of like decided that, okay, this idea is quite cool, we're both on board with it.
The logistics
And then was like,
came.
right, so how do we logistically get this involved? Because in my head, it's all just a fantasy, obviously, at the time. I was like, well, just do what you did on before in the video, like, but for me, like tailor it, like, for me kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's like, babe, you've watched me fuck a dildo hundreds of times. It's not going to work. I was like, well, how else do you want to do it then? Because, well, I could get a girl with a strap on or something, or the only other option's a bloke. I was like, yeah. And you just went, but I'm not bi. Well, I don't like girls like that.
It wasn't.
I was like, okay, so you just want to fuck another bloke then?
Exactly what he said.
And that's exactly how I said. I was like, okay. And then we had sex that night, talking dirty about it. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, why did that work?
Everything we talk about in the bedroom before we do it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't enjoy it in bed together, just talking about it, you're never going to wrap your head around it in real life. What you found?
True.
I was really worried post-orgasm how I'd feel. I don't know if that's a guy thing.
You read that on Reddit,
Because
didn't you?
you get horny, but then afterwards it's like, okay, now I've come.
What did you call it?
Post-nut clarity.
Yeah.
Post-nut clarity, yeah.
Because beforehand, you sort of like build up the idea and the scenario and the visuals in your head, and it's like you're walking around with a constant hard-on, and you're like, yes, this needs to happen. And you just got... It's like when you're on a diet or something, you will talk yourself into eating whatever just to get what you want.
Yeah.
But then once you've had your pizza after eating really good for 2 weeks and you've lost a bit of weight and you're like, why the fuck did I eat that pizza?
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I didn't want to happen. It's like, why did we do that? Why did we do that?
Yeah.
But, well, no, it was fine.
So we discussed it for ages and ages.
Oh,
and
God,
we didn't know about Fab or any of these spicy websites. We had no clue.
No.
So we took to Tinder.
You did Tinder?
We
did Tinder.
Wow.
Yeah, very brave, because we didn't know. We were literally baby
We
swingers.
looked at Field, but couldn't wrap our heads around that.
Does Tinder even have like
They have a non-monogamous section.
No.
Yeah, no one didn't know about this until we've introduced
Oh, we're in a new
them.
area, I can have a look.
No, you can't.
Myself and Mr. N, we have never done the whole Tinder thing, have we? We've never even... I haven't even been on the...
But we didn't know how to look for a swinger or what we was looking for. At the time, we was just looking for a bloke to
single
come and
guy.
perform as a human-powered dildo.
And we were very lucky. We came across this guy who is, I don't know how, a seasoned
king of
swinger.
swing.
The king. We must have just been blessed from above. Because
That doesn't always work though.
No, it doesn't, but we were literally must have been like handed him because
He was a
we
nice
matched with
guy.
him. He showed us the ropes. He introduced us to the swinging clubs. He introduced us to Fab. He took us under our wing on everything. You know, he was looking back. He handled us with kid gloves. Like our first
Massively.
experience
That's
was like
amazing.
so gentle.
And that's so lovely that you
Yeah.
actually had that real positive
And I am presuming
experience.
he treated you like a unit.
Amazing.
A
Yeah.
single unit. And that's the most important
Because
thing.
with the hot wife thing, sometimes it can be really tricky because for me, it's very much what Mr. N gets out of it as much as what I'm getting out of it. And if that third person comes in and they do not show that respect to Mr. N or they don't include him, it's just a real turn off for me then, because it's just like this isn't just about me. You don't get it. We're a couple.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference as well between cuckold and hot wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
trying
like-
to figure that one out, aren't we? Because a lot of people
I'm
assume it's the same.
in no way a
It's
cook.
not.
I get no satisfaction from any form of that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think so. To just clarify for like our listeners, a cuckold, traditionally, you've got verbal humiliation there against the guy, whatever, or sometimes, and it can come from the girl, it can come from the girl and the bull. But a hot wife is just so different because you're getting off on seeing your wife.
Yes.
It's almost like a third-person porno.
Yes.
That's what he says in a threesome as well. It's like having a real-life porno whilst getting your cock sucked.
Exactly.
It's brilliant.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how was that very first experience?
Looking back, it was the most gentlest, kindest thing we've
Most
ever
underwhelming threesome that we've actually had.
Really?
But at the time, because it was like, you sort of like, you build up what you think's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You watch porn on the internet to like try and what I did to just wrap my head around what could happen, what should happen. You know, what's the etiquette? What do you do? Do penises touch? Do they not touch? What happens? It's like I don't know.
How do things start? That was our first question. We got in the room
how do you get
with
it started?
and we said to him, right, so how do we start? And he went, right, guys, you two just lie on the bed, you start getting it on, I'll just come in and just, from behind and just like start. And he was like an absolute saint. If our second time would have been our first time, we'd never have continued. Let's just say that.
Really?
Yeah.
So, second time not so good.
No.
That's the same as us.
No.
You are literally the same as us. As you know.
Do you mind me asking? You don't have to go into real details, but do you mind me asking why?
No, it's fine. We were friends with him still. It wasn't him as a person, it was the experience. We went back to his house.
Never done that before. The first one was at a hotel.
Yeah, it was his first time ever threesome, our second time. Both brand new. It's never going to work, is it? He was like a kid in a candy store, like... Oh my God!
Okay,
you were quite not pushed out on purpose, but
no, but he's sort of like bull in the china shop, like throwing you around and
going on. Broke his bed.
We broke his bed.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
I mean, we walked out of there and I didn't really speak, did I?
No,
and you was like, "You okay?" I was like, "No, not really."
That's the worst feeling.
That's tough. And then for you, Mrs. B, we've kind of been in that situation.
We've been there.
We have definitely been
there.
Heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
I had to say it to really nice. I was like, look, you've not done anything wrong. I still love you. We're still together. We're not getting divorced. We're not doing anything. I just need to process. I just need to be quiet, and I just need to wrap my head around everything that's just happened. And
the positive though you take out of it is your communication level goes from there to like rocket high
massively, because we took at home and we were like, right, okay, we need to really rethink our boundaries
and you have no choice but to talk about what's happened and why you didn't get off on it and why it didn't work for whatever reason, and that does elevate. So I always think you learn so much more from the bad ones.
It's
of course
true,
you do,
because not many people talk about the bad ones. We've never spoke to couples, and couples ever told us their bad experiences, and we found that quite not upsetting as such, but because they didn't tell us, we were like, are we...
But they're the ones that you learn from, they're the ones that you should... It's like, oh, okay, well, that's something I should look out for, that's something I should look into, or take under advisement, or anything like that. Everybody talks about, it was brilliant when, like, she had 2 penises in her mouth, and it's like, okay, that's all the cool stuff, but where's the nitty-gritty, where's the things to look out for, and the red flags that you could look for?
Nobody ever tells you about them.
Often, you're so right, everyone talks about the physical activities, but it's the how, whether you actually connect socially, whether you connect with and it's so important for the guy to connect with the guy, just like almost on friendly terms.
I mean, the second chap that we had the threesome with, in
really
terms of sort of like getting along with,
we've been out drinking with him since. We've been out with him.
After the threesome, he folded my clothes up and handed them to me.
I've never had that.
Just fend for herself, like bra everywhere.
That's not our friend, is it? Because that's what he used to fold his clothes up as well, didn't he?
He didn't fold mine up though.
No, he never folded yours.
He gave you your t-shirt, your socks and everything. It was brilliant.
That's hilarious.
It was really funny.
He did show ultimate respect.
I think he was just very excited because as a person, we got on with him and we're still friends with him. We've been out drinking with him, like we've been to the pub, we've been everywhere with him. Even over Christmas we were messaging him and like, happy Christmas, sending videos and pictures to each other. So there was no hard feelings as a threesome. It was just the situation wasn't right. Now we could handle it.
Yeah.
We could handle that now.
Yes.
But at the time, because we were so new and he was brand new, it was not a good idea.
I mean, but you You kind of live and learn.
Of course.
I think it's part of the journey, as we call it.
You didn't
isn't
answer
it?
this is too private. Did you know him before?
No.
So you literally met him through the naughty
Yeah, we
night.
went socially for a drink beforehand before we were going back to his house on the same day, and we got on really well with him.
Really well.
Really well. I mean, we must have, because we continued getting on well with them afterwards.
You know, we've spoken to couples where they have had vanilla friends that have then turned into like swinging, and that's been like a disaster.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
So it might be the similar case story. Although you met him, you get on too well almost as friends, and then it's not kind of.
It doesn't work in the
It
bedroom.
loses that kind of sexiness, doesn't it? In a way,
because we'd quite happily go out for a drink with him, meet up,
we wouldn't
go out for a curry on a Friday night, but we wouldn't. We'd go out for the curry and then we'd go home and then he'd go back to his home. You wouldn't go to that part again, but definitely would. Quite happy to
did you guys have? I mean, we talk about this a lot, where there's like code words or there's things that you use. So if one of you wasn't particularly comfortable, that you would
we just
know.
say stop.
So stop. Enough. Game over. Let's go.
Haven't had to yet, have we?
That is good.
But
and there's one question I want to ask you, if you don't
go
mind me
ahead.
asking. So when you've played with a guy as a hot wife scenario, have you ever been in that situation where it's like this guy is really hot and good looking and sexy and everything else? Are you then worried what he might think? Or
this is weird, but we kind of pick the guy together.
No, that's not weird.
Yeah. So
that is not weird at all.
Like, if we find someone, we kind of pick them together. We have only done the hot wife situation a couple of times, haven't we?
Yeah.
We once didn't work out because he didn't last more than 30 seconds. He didn't get the job done.
Really generous.
That's the highest appreciation.
I take it as a compliment.
That's
From
the highest
my perspective, because I didn't get the part that I like. She come out of his house. I was sat in the car waiting because
didn't bring the goods.
And she was like running out. I said, "Stop running! It's going to come out." And she got in the car. And goes, "Well, that was crap. You ain't got what you want." That's what you mean. You ain't just loosed it all out, have you? Like, no, he ran off to the toilet.
It doesn't always work.
No, but again, our first hot wife experience was a very last minute thing. We had no childcare. We were talking to this guy on Fab. It was in a local hotel. Again, very lucky. He was the ultimate gentleman. Like, he was like the kindest, gentlest, most caring, like, gentleman like we could have picked. I think we've just been very lucky with our first experiences, because our second times haven't been.
Don't worry, our second and third time was an absolute disaster.
So yeah, I mean, but because it was your first time, then you're kind of like, well, okay, it must be okay.
Yeah.
And you also feel as well, I've conquered the world. I'm a king of the swingers now. I know all this, and then something comes up and bites you on the arse, and it's like, Yeah.
I think you also tend to find, and myself and Mr. Wren have said this before, as time goes on, you tend to go more for quality than quantity.
We've said this. We've said we can't believe at first we were just looking for some random people all the time.
I don't care who you are. I just want to have sex.
So I think at the beginning, you sort of like, you say yes to whoever's like resembles okay, because you're sort of like, you're worried. You've always got like a worry that if you keep saying no to people, they're not going to come and ask you again, or you sort of like get a fear of missing out, or it's like, well, what if nobody else messages tonight and we really want to do something tonight? Yeah. I think that's the sort of like what you get into your head. But then as time goes on, it's like, well, hold on a second, we're holding all the cards here. That you've got the fanny they want to come and have sex with. It's like, no, jog on, you weirdo.
That's what he says.
Yeah, if you want to just pop up into her inbox and just say, "Hi, want to suck this?" No, I fucking don't. It's a couple's profile. It says on there that 9 times out of 10 you're going to be speaking to me. Do you want to be seeing your dick pic at 3 o'clock in the morning as I've just got to work? No. And I certainly don't want to come and sit on it.
Mr. Wren's got a kindred spirit for one. Especially you have to deal with a lot of that, don't you?
Yeah, it's like, what have we got today? 30 dick pics. 10 on toilets. This is not going to go well. You get those? The dick pics on the toilets.
Over the toilet, in the shower. In the shower one, I'm like, oh.
I've asked myself many times why guys sit there and go, yes, this would be a good time for a dick pic.
He looked at one this morning and he just went, oh, has he got a nice house?
Yeah.
Didn't even look
Do you do
at
that
the dick.
Have you reached that stage where you go...
Backgrounds.
Yeah.
Backgrounds
I'm too far super observant for it, because it's ridiculous. I'll show you the pictures, and you're like, yeah, they look all right. And then we'll get to a dick pic, and I'll look at it like, have you seen his nails? The black.
Yes.
It's like if he's going to take a photo of him holding his cock in his hand, and he's got black crud underneath his nails, and like I was like, and those fingers are going to be going towards you. Is that what you want?
No,
and then
absolutely.
as soon as I say that, you're like, no, instant ick, block, delete, ta-ra.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Top tip there.
Yeah, don't go servicing your Vauxhall Corsa and then take your dick pic on the toilet with your hand in it.
It's just like, what kind of impression does it give, though?
It's true.
Yeah.
The other one as well that automatically, like, this is a weird one. Why it puts me off, but it does put me off, is when they stand there and for some reason they decide to take their photo with the family portrait in the background. There's little Johnny on the way on his first day at school. Why are you doing that?
Well, but it's normally a headless torso as well, so I give the family away, but perfect.
Oh yeah, the best is like, do you want to like chat and see how it goes? Well, let's see what you look like. I can't. You live quite local to me. So what are you going to do, mate? You're going to turn up with a bag on your head?
That's true.
Well, can we not just meet up? It goes, how do we know who we're looking for? We're just going to walk there with a sign. Hello.
I'm a swinger.
Here we are, Mr. and Mrs. B. Swingers looking for a fuck.
That's hilarious. I think maybe we should do that sometime. They'd shit themselves, wouldn't they?
Tiny back.
Well, the worst is when you ask for a face picture and then they'll send you a face picture, but then they'll put an emoji over the face.
Yes.
Like, oh, so you're bright yellow with like the heart eyes, are you, mate?
Or like us, you get one that the photo is taken at least 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had a few of them.
We
How many six packs have we viewed on all the pictures? You're like, it's like Adonis of a man with his chiselled abs,
He rocks
pecs for
up.
days, turns up and he's like got the beer belly like Homer Simpson. Which is fine,
But just be honest.
It's like,
Be honest.
how annoyed are you going to be when you order a steak and you get a Big Mac?
Just stopped
It's
off.
like,
Stopped
both are
off.
nice. I'll have a steak any day of the week. I'm partial to a Big Mac. Just
be honest.
But at least let me know what I'm having.
Yeah, I know.
That's so
I
true.
must admit, I don't get the whole. Because it's just like, it's not like you're not going to be found out.
I know.
Why bother? You're just
yeah.
wasting everybody's time.
We tend to have quite a lot if we're not sure of people, we have a lot of social meets. Like we'll go to a local pub or go to Starbucks.
Pub quizzes.
We've got a pub quiz friend that we met through Fab, who we've only ever played with once, but he's come to the pub quiz with us like 7 or 8 times now.
Brilliant. You see, I think this is where we went wrong in the beginning, and this was my fault because I was very much like, I don't want to socialise with you. I don't need to know your life story or anything else. I just need you to come, turn up, shag me, and then leave.
Oh no.
And I do wonder if we'd have been a little bit more sociable
I
at
think
the
it
beginning.
changes. I think it changes.
Yeah, well,
Definitely changes.
This same guy that comes to the pub quiz with us, we've also invited him to our daughter's birthday party on Sunday.
But
I mean, message about saying, well,
That's no different to friends with benefits, is
Exactly.
it?
it's like, I've never been invited to a children's birthday party to bring my kids from a Wink Swinger website. Well, it's the first for everything, isn't there?
Absolutely.
really good
We are
friends.
really good
do.
friends.
You
I mean,
do.
we picked him up from the train station, dropped him off last Sunday because
Yeah.
he was like stuck in traffic and stuff. But we had such a laugh with him.
But there's a
It's-
different level of friendship there, isn't there? Because there's
Oh,
a different
cool.
level of
Definitely.
trust.
And we did a fantasy thing with him. The first time we ever did anything with him was
Your fantasy.
my fantasy thing with him.
Oh, okay.
So it was quite a lot of trust that we actually put into him. But this was like after 4 social meets.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever expected from us with him.
Yeah.
He never expected anything once a day, and we didn't expect anything of him. It was all very natural.
Yeah.
Everything
What's
flowed.
the fantasy, if you don't mind me asking?
She's very prized.
I'm
She's
sorry.
very nosy.
It's fine. I was we had a hotel room, and I didn't know it was him. And they'd even played me along on Fab, and this guy had messaged him going, "Oh, I wish I could come tonight. I wish I could come. I'm on holiday." Like proper. No, so I thought, "Oh, it's not him then, is he on holiday?" But little did I know, him and him were actually talking, planning this.
Oh, this is actually good.
So I was on the bed, blindfolded. I didn't want to know who it was. So I was like, "This is," and you'd even took all your chains off on your neck, so there was no like, "Who is it?" kind of thing. Like, so we were playing around on the bed. I was blindfolded. I didn't know who the other guy was. No idea. I had an inkling in my head who it was, but I was wrong. Because we'd had a prior conversation. I said, I think I'd like it if it's someone we'd already played with. Right, so in my head, it couldn't have been this guy because we've never played with him before, and he's on fucking holiday. So it weren't him. So they'd really planted this seed.
You really didn't know.
They did a really good job. Anyway, we're playing around for ages, and then I was like, right, I'm taking my blindfold off, and we've got a bit of a standing joke, haven't we? Because one of the pub quiz the questions, it was like a wipeout round, and if you get the answer wrong, you lose all your points. And I was adamant the answer was Emmerdale. So I wrote Emmerdale down. And the answer was Coronation Street. Right? So it was a lasting joke that it's Emmerdale, everything. Like if someone's angry, it's Emmerdale. And took my blindfold off and he shouted, Emmerdale! Like that. It was so funny. But then we'd laugh and joke for a couple of minutes, then got back down to it and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun because obviously we'd gone from that like excitement and fun and tension building up at the pub quizzes to actual the bedroom without even, and that fantasy of not knowing and like them not really like having the best time ever. Like, it was just so much fun, wasn't it?
That does sound really hot. That does.
It is cool.
I mean, I have a fantasy that Mr. N and I are at a club, and I'm in one of the bedrooms, send him downstairs to go and find several men, because one of my biggest things is to have a gangbang, and we've not managed that one.
We've done a 7-man bukkake.
Yeah, which was awesome. But this is the whole thing about I don't know who's going to come upstairs, and the idea is you go down, you pick them,
you're in control,
you send them upstairs, and then obviously,
Yeah, but finding several blokes that are like able to perform and fit the bill kind of thing.
Mr. B understands the pressure.
We can't even find two, can we?
Exactly. We're very demanding woman.
We put a status up a few weeks back because after several threesomes later, it's like, how cool would it be with 3 penises, babe?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, let's try
that'll
it.
work. We've got enough holes and hands.
Exactly what he said.
So we put a status up saying, like, who's up for MMMF? I think that's enough M's.
Yeah.
And the amount of people say, I'm game, I'm down.
What, have you got a mate?
Well, have you got a mate? I don't know. I'll ask a friend if he's up for it. Funnily enough, not everybody's got loads of plethora of swinger friends that are able to call up for that.
Yeah, we've tried that once, didn't we? With the whole gangbang thing, and it just never happens.
Resided to the fact that kind of a fantasy will happen at some point because we want it to.
It's probably going to be in a club.
But it'll be in a club where a couple of lads come in,
maybe friends, maybe a couple of
friends that know each other, they get on well with each other, and we'll just say, right, you two, come on, up to it.
Yeah.
Unless obviously it was like the one that we did where Mr. N went round to all these single guys and said, Mrs. N's in the room, she's up for a bukkake, who's interested, and they literally just shut themselves and ran off.
It didn't.
Yes.
It did. No. And I ended up with one person.
You joking?
No.
No, it's true.
I was like, for God's sake!
It happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did get offered 2 brothers once.
Yes, I did.
2 brothers.
That's a bit weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you just say, well, we might as well do it because we won't get this opportunity.
How come that never happened?
Talk about brotherly love.
I don't know if they wanted to like go one after the other, or I don't know. But yeah, it never happened.
No, it never happened.
It was just like...
You wouldn't be completely opposed to 2 brothers, at least there'd be. Relatively okay to look at, they'd be quite similar.
One's okay looking, One's okay looking, then, at least they get along.
It's most guys' fantasy, isn't it, to have like 2 girls, 2 twins or something?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
No. Well, in fairness, what you think your fantasy is very different to what it is in reality. We were just talking about this before we went on air. And it's very different, isn't it, between like the porn fantasy of doing stuff and the actual realness of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The amount of threesomes I watched before we did this, and I was like, oh my God, that looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, like what on earth are those women doing with their legs? And you've got to remember that it is all fake.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can't. Watching this, and it is absolutely. It's videoed over like a series of days, isn't it, from angles, but. It's really hard to take it in, isn't it? And you almost think you compare then, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I think that is where a lot of people go wrong.
Yeah.
So, interestingly, your first time at a club, what was your reaction?
We stood down in the corner. Stood down in the corner. The only rooms that we went and looked at was on our tour.
And we didn't leave. We didn't leave the dance floor or bar. We were too scared.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. There's a lot of talk about, with the Andrew Tate and the misogyny thing and everything in this day and age. And there's a lot of criticism about young teenage boys where they grow up with a false thinking of the way sex is because of porn. And there's a lack of respect for women and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's quite true. And obviously it's like all of us are very experienced in the naughty hobby. And we really understand the difference between that, and it's how you teach young lads the difference, because obviously you can't teach them in the way of we've learned in the naughty hobby, but the difference between porn and real sex is just so different.
Yeah.
It's quite scary
because
isn't
it's over in a couple of minutes, and on the TV it's going for 45 minutes. It's like, mate, you stallion. It's like, I'm impressed. It's like, how? So what medical things do you put inside you to make things go that long?
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even orgies and threesomes, foursomes, moresomes, they're so different to actually what you see in porn films.
Well, I remember when we've watched porn before, and I think I have said this before, that I always thought that the woman was just there to be used, because that's how it comes across. So if you think, young teenage boys or whatever are watching that, it is that whole kind of, the woman's there for my pleasure, not the other way round.
Yeah.
But when you're in the naughty hobby, you actually realise that isn't it, because everybody gets pleasure out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we really do enjoy the threesomes, because I'll get such a kick out of seeing how much of a good time she's having, and it's like, this works. This really does work. It's like, I'm having fun, you're having fun, he's having fun. It's like, what's not to like? No.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard, an FMF isn't our thing, and the more we speak to people, the more they aren't that common, because men don't like to disappoint two women at the same time. That's what they keep saying, don't they? We don't like to disappoint two women at the same time, or they don't like. A lot of them don't like being left out.
Yeah,
because I don't play with any other women at all. It's not for. I mean, you've turned around and said, "Do you want to try one?" Like,
I was interested to know, Mrs. B, how you feel, because obviously it's well documented that for years I was like to Mr. N, that this ain't happening. I cannot cope with the thought of seeing you with another woman. But obviously as you go through your journey and things change and your relationship becomes so much stronger, and
it wasn't that I wanted to.
I know you
wasn't
didn't.
like waiting. It was like, okay.
It wasn't your request anyway. No. It was it was my guild that was the issue.
That's what I've said to you every night. I said, do you want to? And you're like, absolutely not.
No.
But he'd like to see me play with another girl. I would like to explore with another girl. But we've kind of found a couple that I think.
This hobby just spirals, doesn't it? You start one thing and then all of a sudden you're doing a million other things.
A weird dynamic that we've come across. Like, this couple are relatively new, but she wants to explore a girl and girl side.
Yeah.
But her partner doesn't want to play with another girl. So we've agreed that the girl and girl have some fun, and then the guys only play with their own partner.
Excellent.
So
good.
That's
quite.
So the guys are still getting a kick and a thrill over the two women having a play, but they're still getting their own partner to enjoy at the same time.
See, that's interesting. One of the hottest things we did at the very beginning is we met this most amazing couple. They were beautiful, and all we did was we shared the bed. So we were with our own partners.
At that stage, we were nowhere near full swap or anything.
No, nowhere near. It was quite early on, but the girls, we were just touching each other's boobs.
Yeah.
And it was, everybody just thought it was the hottest thing ever.
Yeah.
So
that was really hot.
Yeah.
Because you used to think for a time as well at the beginning when I suggested the whole two blokes threesome thing, he's like, is this just sort of a ruse to get what you want and to have two girls at the same? It never was. Never. That thought was never
that's what
even.
You read about. You were reading about on Reddit.
Yeah.
It's like you see a lot of people sort of like do it the one way, put up with it, so then you can turn around and say, well, I've let you do this.
Absolutely.
You need to let me do this now. It's my turn.
Yes.
And even when we're in clubs, people say, like, what's your dynamic? And I mean, well, we haven't really got a dynamic. We just like what we like.
Yeah,
we don't say that, but don't label it as...
Like, when we say that, we look for single guys, which, that's very unheard of in clubs. Stay away from that single.
It's really
There's too many single guys in here tonight. Look at them all.
Not a Vegas Vixens.
It's definitely not a Vegas Vixens.
When we start chatting to people, they're like, don't you want to have two girls? I'm like, no. Why? What do you mean, why?
They want it.
There's one penis and there's 6 different places you can put it. You can only put it in one.
Do you know,
What am
Mr.
I
B,
gonna do, yeah?
I am so thankful you've come on the show, because it I think there is a certain amount of there's that machoism that guys should be with,
isn't there?
multiple
Lots of bravado.
girls within swinging, and it's just so nice. You are, don't mind me saying so, I'm not coming on to you, but you are a handsome guy, handsome, well-built guy, and it's just nice to hear that.
Yeah.
To hear a guy just come out and go, no, I'm actually not into the whole multiple girl thing, and you know.
It's not that it's sort of like off the table, or it's been banned, or I'm not allowed, or anything like that. It's like I literally
just not into it.
Not
It's
into
our
it.
thing.
It just doesn't do anything for me. Just the same as a full couple swap, because the whole logistic. I understand why people would like it, and if you can get a foursome to work
And everyone likes
equally
it.
Yeah.
all the way around, otherwise there's always going to be somebody who's like just taking one for the team. I don't really want to, but she wants to, so. Yeah, I'll take one for the team here. But the other person is always going to feel like they weren't really giving into that. They weren't really into it. They were just there for
And
moral
there's
support.
nothing worse, is there, when you're in a situation and you can tell that person isn't
Really
into
feeling
it.
it.
Because in the threesomes with like the 2 guys, I mean,
There's always
I'm
basic action
mad in-
going on. No one's
I
ever
think
left out.
my wife's like the most drop dead gorgeous thing on the planet, and
she is.
You only have to look on all the messages and on Fab that you get, and every bloke thinks the same. So it's like, I've got no attraction to the bloke, so me and you don't need to like each other. So as long as we both like the girl, it works.
Happy days.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel, though, when you get all those messages and the compliments
At first
about
you-
Mrs. B?
at
It depends on the
It was a
person
bit-
and how they come across with the compliments, or if they just come and say, mate, I want to fuck your wife. It's like, oh, fuck off. But it's like, paying compliments to the both of them, mate, you've done really well there, your wife is stunning. Like, okay, we'll continue, see where this goes.
It's about
And what
respect,
about you,
isn't
Mrs.
it?
B? Because I know in the beginning, when I used to get lots of compliments, I'd say to Mr. M, well, they're only saying nice things because they just want to get in my knickers.
That's you.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I do get a kick out of going around the clubs now, and sort of like, because you don't see it, or you try and turn a blind eye to it, but when you're now dressed down and you're in your outfits,
That's
and
a
it's
new
like,
thing. Dressing down is
Jesus
a new
Christ,
thing.
you're walking around and everybody's looking. I'm like, you wish, mate. You wish.
Yeah.
You wish.
We went to a new club on Sunday. We went to Manchester. We had a child-free weekend. So we drove to Manchester and went to Cupid's, our first ever dress down club. So it was very brave.
Yeah, because I'd never dressed down in a club ever.
Yeah,
I was
so-
very sort of like anti-dress down. Like, no,
very
not getting my
brave.
nipples out.
Brave.
No one needs to see my boobs walking round.
And there was a guy there that thought he was Jack the lad, weren't he? Young
Oh,
lad.
God, yeah.
In his probably early 20s, mid-20s maybe.
Yeah.
Thought it was Jack the lad, like proper like swinging his willy around, like wangling it, you know. And he come up to me and he went, "Can I kiss you?" And I went, "Ask my husband." And you went, "No." And he just went off in the corner and started sulking on his own, didn't he? We did eventually play with him, but we left him for an hour and a half sulking before we did anything. Because it was almost like taking that power back. And I'm
Yes.
thinking, no, respects, you know, don't just start, you know.
Absolutely.
It is incredibly
And
empowering for women.
Definitely, it was really nice, wasn't it? Because you could
I think
just see him.
you got off more off that
did
than you
get-
got off the actual sex part.
Yeah, because it was almost like, don't. My husband's there. Don't
Yeah.
do that. Normally in a club, everyone approaches him before they approach me.
That's nice.
Everyone.
that's
We've
interesting.
never really
That's
had
really
anybody
good.
approach me first.
Yeah.
They always approach you, don't
Yeah.
they?
One of the nicest things that I remember, the weirdest things happen when you're in the midst of like passion and whatever with somebody else, was when we were at VA. And we were playing with this he was such a sweetheart, wasn't he? The gorgeous lad, really lovely, so respectful. We're having a fantastic time, and all of a sudden across comes Mr. N's arm and wipes this lad's brow with his towel.
He did.
He did.
It was like a pit stop. He was putting in a lot of effort. He needed a little bit of.
Should have just told him to open his mouth and sprayed some Lucas on him. Come on, mate. There you go. You'll maybe be able to last 33%
Just giving him a
longer.
rub down and everything, shouldn't you? But at the end, we just sat chatting, didn't we?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Just a lovely conversation, and it was like, that is, to me, is how it should be.
Definitely.
Yeah. We had a hot wife situation, didn't we? Where I met a guy in his hotel room,
Yeah.
and then he buggered off and sent you up to me to have some fun with me while he waited downstairs in his own hotel room and then came back up afterwards and then to have a beer together.
Nice.
That's just,
I mean, this chap came fully prepared, paid for the hotel on his own. I mean, we normally used to like always go house because we've got 5 kids. We accommodating at our house, and at the beginning we always thought that's weird. Now there's some random bloke coming in our bed.
Yeah,
but things change. Yeah. That's not an issue anymore.
This swingers are so fickle.
It turns up to this hotel. I mean, I only found out obviously when I got up. I was like, this dude bought his own like wife Bluetooth speaker for like background music and bought you a bottle of wine and 4 cans and
that is nice.
I'm like, fair play, dude. You can come again.
Yeah, exactly.
So sat on the bed together and we had a beer together.
Do you find that as like the husband of a hot wife, do you find sometimes you get actually more turned on before you, like, if you're waiting downstairs or you're... Does that ever happen to you? Is that just me?
Because your whole head's just running wild with what could be happening, what's happening, what you're doing, what's going on.
And I also, when the action starts, I did the last time, FaceTimed him when I was sucking his cock. And then hung up the phone.
I was in the shop, I was in Morrison's, swearing into the fridge to get a drink. And then all of a sudden I had my wife's face on my phone, sucking some bloke's cock. I said, babe, I'm in the shop. She's like, are you in Morrison's? I was like, yeah. And she carried on going. I was like, babe, you need to go because like, I'm walking around Morrison's with an hard on it.
Every little helps. Oh no, that's the other one.
That's Tesco's.
What's Morrison's?
More reasons to shop at Morrison's.
There is more reasons.
That's hilarious.
But then after that, when we were back home talking about it, it's like, it was so hot sucking his cock on FaceTime while he was in the shop. It was so naughty.
It was quite naughty. A level of naughtiness.
There is, isn't there? There's almost like this air of power that you have to be able to turn your husband on or your partner on to a point where they literally... The bit I love is if I've gone on a meet on my own, which we only ever do if it's somebody that we've met several times and we're all really, really happy. There are times when Mr. M will drop me off. And then obviously we'll go and have the play. There'll be photographs that we'll send during. Yeah.
Just a random, like, what's coming next?
Well, I'm away on a stag do in June and we've got some ideas of what she can get up to whilst I'm not
He's got a whole list. I mean, he's only out the country for 3 days and he's got a list, very long list.
Busy girl.
But one of them was sort of like, well, you can get someone to come round, open the door in next to nothing, and then just go to the ring doorbell
and
just
the ring doorbell.
My cock's here for me to suck while you're in another country. Bye. Whoa, you naughty bugger.
Yeah, can I just out of experience, there was a moment where we had a gas man come round to look at our oven, didn't we?
I can't believe you're going to tell this story.
Really lovely guy. And Mr. I don't even know where you were. I think you were down your mum and dad's at the time or something. I was in the house on my own with the gas man.
I was busy doing something.
You were busy doing something. And Mr. N had said to me, you know, just open your legs a bit, just have a bit of a flash and everything, which I did. This poor lad, he couldn't get out of the house quick enough.
That didn't work.
He was supposed to come back to finish the job. He never did. We never heard from him again. I think I traumatised him. So he kind of put me off a little bit doing the whole, you know, just
flash the tradesman.
Yeah.
I'm at the gym sometimes and you're like, anyone want you go and play with at the spa? Do you want to go and play with anyone at the spa? And I'm like, no, babe, I'm working out,
Well, you've got to go and chill out afterwards, you know. There's bubbles in the jacuzzi. You can hide things if you don't want to be too public.
Yeah, when we're together working out at the gym, it'll be like, anyone here take your fancy?
Funny story. Bloke in the gym, found him on Fab, lives opposite us. I found him, messaged him, blocked.
Yeah.
Goes to our gym, same time as us, every day.
But how ideal would that have been?
I know.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Wake up all horny in the morning. Babe, nip over next door and go like, have something and come back. Well, next week you can just run across the street and you're there, job done.
Give it time, he might change his mind.
He's blocked us.
He's blocked us, but he is our conquest that we're going to a conquest this year. He's on the hit list.
I love that.
I'm working on magic at the gym. I keep going to take an attachment. I'm like, getting there, aren't we?
The thing is, though, you couldn't go into the gym with any less clothing than you actually go in there with. So you have to start sort of like thinking outside the box a bit.
I love the fact that you've got a hit list. There's a new one on this, isn't
That
there?
is so
Right? It's
cool.
just brilliant.
It's like the forbidden fruits, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like all of a sudden you can't have it. It's like, right, challenge accepted.
Do you still use Tinder, or are you just Fab?
We have a three
plethora
Tinder
of them.
just
We
to be
just
nosy.
you never know.
Yeah.
That's it now.
Are you going on Tinder?
I'm going to try Tinder.
Non-monogamous section of Tinder.
Yeah. Just don't set up as a couple profile because you get yourself banned.
I got banned on there.
So you can't be a couple.
But I've put myself as a picture, then I've put looking for a unicorn. I know it's not quite looking for a unicorn, but people know. And I put if you know, you know. So people kind of get the gist of what you're looking for.
So why can't you go on as a...
Because it's a dating profile for a person, not a couple. It's not that kind of setup. I think because you had it on your phone for ages,
and I can't even download
but then
Twitter
you
on my
put a
phone
picture
now.
of both of us on there as your profile, and then some people do get away with it because you do come across a couple. A lot of people advertising as a couple looking.
There's loads of E&M couples on there,
and
you would think just as a company they'd do a section because they make money.
Well, they've got sections on there for everything that you can search for. You can search for people that are dog lovers, that are free tonight, non-monogamous, like films, likes walks. You can literally search a whole. Like they have a category for you to search through that people have got these.
But you just can't be couple.
But you just can't be a couple on there. So it's now on my phone. So I have to deal with all of the cinders. But it gets so addictive because you're sitting there. It's like you scroll your Facebook. It's like I don't need to see any more bloody kettles for sale or whatnot. It's like let's go on Tinder. It goes no, she won't like him. She won't like him. She won't like him. Oh, she might like him. We'll put the like list. Yeah, he might do. Yeah.
Mrs. B, how good is Mr. B at selecting?
He knows my type.
Excellent.
And it's not me. Honestly, it's not. Everybody. Well, it is now. I've got the beard now.
I always keep Mr. N guessing. He thinks he knows.
I think I'm about 7 times out of 10.
You are, pretty much. But occasionally...
Do you throw a curveball in?
Every now and again he'll go, seen this one, you're going to love him. I know you're going to love him. And then he'll show me a picture and I'm like, nah. And he was like, damn it, I could have sworn this was up your street.
And then I'll go, I'm doing quite well because obviously,
You thought you were onto a winner.
Yeah, no, he's a good-looking guy. He doesn't stand a chance. I'm married to you, so there you go.
No,
So
I like to think I'm quite
really
good.
interested, guys, because obviously you've been together a long time.
Yeah.
How has your relationship changed since being in the hobby?
It's a lot more...
Open. In more ways than
communication's better. It's a lot because our sex life's a hell of a lot better. I think it gets stagnant, don't you? Everyone just gets set in their own ways.
It's very difficult, isn't it, when you've gone through that whole, you get together, you get engaged, you get married, you have kids.
We have got a toddler, a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So, the last couple of years have been very, very difficult, So this has really kind of like made everything a lot more spicy. Even silly things like, like going to the clubs dressed up. Can't go anywhere dressed up anymore.
No.
There's
It
nowhere.
started as we was looking for this just for a human powered dildo.
Yeah.
That
Heartbeat powered dildo.
That was literally all we was after. It weren't about making friends or
like
acquaintances.
Said, yeah.
We just wanted somebody to come and fulfil a fantasy for us.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was.
Heartbeat powered dildo. That's how we used to look.
Yeah,
I like
honestly.
that.
And then after the first meet, it was on your birthday, weren't it? In Leicester.
That was the same as us.
Yeah.
No.
We booked it was only coincidence how it happened. I booked a hotel for a birthday and we were supposed to be going to a show in the evening, and then this chap turned up and we ended up having a few drinks with him. After about 2.5 hours, he popped to the toilet and I said to you, didn't I? I said, are you game or not? And he's like, yeah. So he come back up and goes, so, right, want to fuck my wife? That was it.
He was like, yeah, right.
So that happened there, and then after that had all happened, when we was in the car driving home, the following month we was going to Windermere for our
Wedding
1 year
anniversary.
And he was like, we'll have to start looking for people up in Windermere to come and meet us in the hotel up there. I was like, oh, okay, so this is how this is going then. So we're here to stay, are we?
But our Windermere meet was out of this world.
Yeah.
We'd spoke to him over WhatsApp constantly for like a couple of
Lots
weeks.
of FaceTimes because you couldn't actually social and meet up for
It was
drink.
a big thing. We didn't want our anniversaries to be ruined.
Yeah, exactly.
So he met us in a cocktail bar in Windermere.
We was there about half an hour, 40 minutes before him, so we was just ordering a few drinks.
He paid our bill, which was about £80, weren't it?
So sweet.
Definitely got brownie points there.
Yeah, and then he took us back to our hotel so we didn't have to get a taxi. We did the business. It was brilliant. We stopped to have a drink afterwards, and he even, in Windermere, what did you do in Windermere? you go for a hike, don't you? He showed us the best parking and the hike route to find a Highland cow. And the next day I was texting him pictures of the Highland cow we found on the walk, he said.
I was just, in my head, I was thinking, because obviously it's your anniversary, I was thinking, you know how you have little gifts that you depending on how many years you've been married,
Yeah.
so your first one's paper, then it's wood and tin until you get to 25, which is silver. We should do a swingers version.
Rubber dildo.
For every year of your anniversary, you have to have a different kink just to mark it off.
And knock on the bedpost.
You had an anniversary present.
Oh, I did, yes.
Do you remember? That was really good.
Remind me.
Oh.
It was that good,
It was that good. Just a gentle dog.
Can I just ask though, did you get a card?
No, I didn't actually.
Neither did I.
Yeah, but that's because we don't buy each other cards.
Don't you remember? We went out. I can't say where. We went to somebody's house. I found you a guy.
Oh, that one. Yeah, sorry, I do remember.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So-
yes. I do. And yeah, that was quite a good anniversary.
The woman that was only ever going to have one other person.
No. Yeah, but it was weird. I mean, I've never actually. I don't think we've ever spoken about this on the podcast. But the reason that changed was because our very first meet, who is a guy that we absolutely love. He still messages me now, like over 10 years.
Only met him the once.
We only met him the once.
So because of logistics,
Yes.
we could only meet once. He was in the army, and we could only
He's
meet
always all
once.
over the place and stuff. And obviously, it was such an amazing experience. I mean, it's like you guys. You don't know. It could have gone completely wrong, and it could have ruined a lot of things. But it didn't. It was amazing. It was only supposed to be a blowjob. Never quite ended up like that, but I'm glad it did.
Sitting in a podcast now with swingers.
And then when I said to Mr. N, I don't want to sleep with lots of different people. I think I was looking for that friends with benefits, that one person.
That's very similar to you, isn't it, with our friend from the attic. For the last 2 months or so, the last few times we've sort of played with the same man each time. Got on really well with him.
We've only played with him in the last
Like every time we've gone to the attic over the last
yeah.
few months, we've played with him because he's there, and it's like, oh yeah, okay. But
you think I've got quite comfortable.
yeah,
And not
we was
looking
chatting to him the one
around.
day, and we hadn't been for a couple of weeks, so we turned up. I mean, we noticed that his hair's getting a bit long on the sides because he's normally sort of like got shaved on the sides, and he's got a top knot. And then all of a sudden it's all quite fuzzy on the sides. Oh, that's a bit unusual. And he's like, oh, my missus wants me to grow a mullet. I've got to grow it all out. And then he was like, said to me, well, he's got to shave his head. I don't want him to shave his head
really
because I don't know how I'm going to cope with that. That's what,
I even texted him a couple of days after. I texted him and I went, how's the hair going? Because I've reset it. I've still got the top knot because I'm going to go on holiday and then shave it all off.
it's like, you just don't know how to compute with the whole idea that he's going to shave his head. You don't want him to do it, do you?
Yeah.
It's like literally just a random bloke that we started chatting to one night in a club, and
It's amazing
as
how
it spiraled
invested
into
you get,
sort of
isn't it?
like we've sort of like got on quite well with him. I mean, we WhatsApp and see if he's going and like you're going, and at the same time, I think that's a downfall because when we know
play
he's
with anyone
there,
else.
we don't play with anybody else, but we equally don't look for anybody else.
we don't
either.
look.
That's true.
We sort
Yeah.
of
Get with each other and we don't leave each other's side all
and
night.
we just sort of chat with each other all night, walk around,
Which
mooch
isn't a
around
bad thing,
together.
'cause we do really get on. Really get on.
Yeah.
But like,
But
it does stop your socialising and mingling a little
That's
bit.
true. That's quite a good tip as well.
Yeah.
Actually, that is true. It does.
But I
Doesn't
would
it?
say now we definitely we enjoy the social side and it's not the sex now. The sex is a bonus.
I don't know how it's gone from that to that.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you don't expect it.
Because before this sort of like going into this fantasy world, as we call it, we've got the real world and fantasy world.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
And you know, before then, I think I had one pair of shoes. Now I've got a wardrobe full of shoes. I think I've got about 19 different shirts that I can wear. I used to have a
Is
white
it a
one or a
fact
black
that Mr.
one.
B has got more outfits than you now?
No.
Because
No,
Mr. N definitely
He
has.
definitely doesn't.
Do you still do your OnlyFans?
We do it on Twitter now, don't we? We've got
Yeah.
a Twitter. I don't do it a lot. We probably earn about £200-300 a month now,
Yeah.
which is still a quite nice little. And it's still the regular people.
I just wondered how that had like affected, because it can become like work, can't it?
That's
Oh,
why
no,
we
it
stopped
was
it. That's why
overwhelming.
we stopped it last year.
Yeah.
Because we got to the point where it's a full-time job.
Both our phones were blaring at all times, all hours of the
Kids
day.
were asking
We've got a
questions.
17, nearly 18-year-old now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't hide the sounds.
No,
that
no,
your
you
phone's
can't.
making.
So why
They
have
know
you got
that.
Snapchat?
Why is your Snapchat going off all the time?
Yeah.
Why do we have to go to bedroom at 8 o'clock and, like, we can't get into the living room after? Because, well, we're not going to turn around and say, because your mother's rolling around on the floor with a dildo in her face. Playing with John the Copper from North Carolina in America. You know, and these poor blokes, bless them, they think they're into an absolute winner, you know, chatting to this gorgeous bird on the internet. They're not. They're chatting to me. 99% of the time, they're talking to me, and like,
just do
the
this
only
stuff.
communication they have with the wife is when I say, right, babe, red lingerie outfit, purple dildo, off you go.
But it's fantasy. It is fantasy.
Yeah.
I look, obviously, as you know, we've talked about it, I'm a musician, and I hate the X Factor. I absolutely hate the X Factor because it did more destruction for the music industry than anything else ever, because it kind of tarnished it. It made it rubbish. And the reason I'm saying this is because obviously with the recent news of Bonnie Blue,
Yeah.
and it's kind of the reputation that it's given everybody who uses OnlyFans and everything. I just think it's really shit.
Yeah.
Because now it's like such negative press of everything, and I just think that's really harsh.
Yeah, I'm going to say our OnlyFans, we had a lot of definitely lonely guys on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one guy that used to pay £100 just to talk to me over Skype, just type.
I mean, you never seen him.
I never seen him
ever
once,
in
and he just
6 months.
he was from Charlotte in America, and it just sounded about all his life, and we've had guys from all over the place just that wants to talk,
Yeah.
and it is quite sad, you know.
Yeah.
It isn't literally just the sex side of it, was it? It
No,
was literally
definitely
some
not.
people just wanted that communication with you
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
And we always found when we found them people, we would spend a bit more time and,
Effort.
you know, it wasn't always all about the money
Yeah.
all the time. Obviously, we was there to earn the money.
But we put a
at the
bit more
time.
into the conversations
But,
beforehand.
if they said, like,
Yeah.
oh, can we just chat for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
You'd say, yeah.
You felt you could actually put more of you into it.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's especially get mutual respect back.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
not somebody just going,
Not some
I'm
guy
a
that's having a
wanking-
quick wank while his wife's at work.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which you get all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times like they'll be on the call and all of a sudden, shit, my wife's back.
Keep the money,
It's like,
keep the
just keep the
money.
money. It's like, mate, there's no refunds.
Yeah, all the time. They were the funny ones.
Definitely.
But there was definite split of people, like...
The ones that were always into the pain stuff, that always really got me. I mean, there was this one chap, you was on the phone to him for ages, weren't you? It's like, tell me what to do.
It was in his
like,
kitchen.
Slam your balls in the kitchen cupboard as hard as you
Sure.
can. And he done it. I was like, oh no.
And then, it was like, tell me more. And I'd be like, put your wooden spoon up your arse, and he'd bend over and shove his wooden spoon up his arse.
So,
And it was all sorts of like...
and then he wanged it off the side of the bathroom sink, and then
His
his lad
kid
walked in,
walks in.
and then he hung up, and it was all gone. I was like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah.
it can turn you off of sex.
Massively.
I was trying not to cringe while you're watching it type
Yeah.
thing.
I
I mean,
I
when
was
we
like-
first started the OnlyFans and you was playing with yourself all the time, me and you were like rabbits, weren't we?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really
Just like-
sparks.
It's like, whoa, this
it
is amazing.
sparks everything, but then it becomes to the point where it's a chore,
Yeah.
and we were suffering with it because I was doing so much of that, and I was getting UTIs.
Yeah.
I was sore. You know, it was a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So it becomes to the point where it wasn't enjoyable anymore. So we just
No.
took a step back from it. And had a break, and then that's when all the other fantasies started to come out about real life situations and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's so cool.
It's cool.
Because there's nothing that screams sexy while your wife's rolling on the living room floor with a dildo and I'm just sat there watching Grey's Anatomy.
and I'd be going, pause this bit. I want to watch this bit.
That's like the Chameleons, where you walk around this sex club, and have you've seen in Chameleons where you've got like the sort of the lounge. I call it the lounge.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just walk past and there's just like a single
EastEnders
guy
playing.
watching EastEnders or something.
It's just the weirdest
What the fuck?
Well, I think we did a double take and we walked past it and then Did you just see what I just saw? And then you had to go in just to see, and it's literally just a sofa in a room with a TV. That's it. And it's just like EastEnders was on there, or Coronation Street was on there.
I rushed to go and tell Saucy, and he went, "Oh yeah, they have football on the Saturday and Sundays, or whatever."
I mean, why wouldn't you? It's just normal life, isn't
It's just a club, isn't it?
Well, Chameleons is the one you can go to and have a Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
What?
They do a full-on Sunday
do
dinner,
they?
roast
Yeah,
dinner.
Sunday roast.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. We need to start going to clubs that do food.
Yeah. Well, we leave
Oh,
starving.
you know me, you say give me a buffet,
Yes, do we?
Yeah.
We've not gone to one yet.
We went to Cupid's at the weekend and they gave us cupcakes and I couldn't eat them because my own was alive.
Oh, good.
Do you do a McDonald's at the end of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
McDonald's.
What did you think of Cupid? We've never been to Cupid's, have we?
Yes, we'll get on to the subject of Cupid's.
It was so good. They had a lot more social area, so away from all the loud club music and stuff. So upstairs was like a big party vibe. UV lights didn't go well with my
Were you glowing, darling?
Glowing? Oh,
green
good
tea.
Lord.
Yeah, green tea.
Everyone was laughing their heads off. He had bright pink. Everyone was wearing black boxes. And we were like, why is everyone wearing black boxes? He had bright pink ones on. They were illuminating. So everyone was laughing at us
What
as a
did the
couple.
UV like? They looked like they'd been stained in uranium. Yeah. They were like neon, like to the next level. Every time, I'd never dressed down in the club, and never wanted to. It was always like a big red no for me. I was like,
We did
no,
it.
I'm not going around in my pants. Nobody needs to see that.
It was Star Wars. It was May the 4th. So they had a fancy dress. And I went as Baby Yoda. I had a green bikini on and Baby Yoda ears, and guess what? I won first place.
Because the club had a 3D printed lightsaber.
I didn't know what it
Like,
was.
what's this? I goes, oh, for God's sake. The best is when she said she was going to dress up as what was it again? Baby Gollum.
Oh, okay.
I was like, who the hell's Baby Gollum? Well, that's Star Wars, isn't it?
The
He's like the
green
green thing. I was like, no. You are not going to like confuse two franchises.
You got kind of like Lord of the Rings mixed up.
Yeah, I got a bit confused.
With Star Wars a
but
little
yeah, it's
bit
like
there.
upstairs, like a big nightclub area with a pole, the bar, a couple of booths and stuff, and they had a big pool table.
There was a couples only area up there
Couples
as well.
only area down one side, and another play area off that side of the one side of the bar, and they had like a dungeon. It was all UV light, and then there was 2 private playrooms, and you'd go downstairs, and then there was like 3 social areas, like with settees and tables. That was, you could still hear the music and the vibe and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more. We spent most of the night down there, didn't we? Because you could talk, and it was like meeting new people, having a walk around and stuff. And there was like
We've got a big
dungeon.
pool table as well. That's free to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's obviously UV, so the balls are glowing bright pink and green and stuff. But no, it was definitely a lot more like party vibe, wasn't it?
Definitely. But when we turned up in the taxi, it was like,
where are
why
we?
the hell are we? It was literally on the corner of like a
street.
a back street.
Yeah, it was like, cool.
Boarded up windows and all the rest. It was like with like a sign that looked like it'd been up there for about 50 years, all weathered away. And I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And we walked in, and then like everything was fine. It was really good.
Which do you think's better now? Because obviously you're like connoisseur of clubs. You've been to a few clubs now. Do you prefer the clubs that are like well out the way, or do you think you prefer the city centre clubs?
I don't
preference
mind,
really, because
no.
9.9 times out of 10 we drive.
Is it drink?
And once you're inside, I guess.
We're not big drinkers anyway. You'll have a glass of wine every now and again,
not
every
bothered.
2 or 3 club
So
visits, if
many
that.
people in the naughty hobby don't drink. Or drink very little.
I'd quite happily drink. I mean, I don't go out to get drunk, but you're useless at driving.
Yeah,
you don't
I won't
like it. And so I do 99.9% of the driving everywhere. Because if you want to get there this time today, then I will drive.
And at least you remember all the what goes on.
Yeah.
And then, so it doesn't really bother us, to be honest, if it's in the outskirts on an industrial estate somewhere tucked away, or if it's on a bustling, hustling high street or in the town centre. Makes no odds to us.
What goes on the inside?
If there was one thing that would sort of grab you to go to a club, what would it be? If there's one thing you say, I wish clubs did this, is there anything that you would think?
The clubs we've been to, we'd like to take a little bit from each club. You know, you just
okay.
think, like, that worked well in that club, that worked well in that club.
Yeah.
I like the themed rooms at Attic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
sometimes they just seem to just chuck a bed in a room and sort of like, go on, get on with it in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of the impression you get from it. Whereas some of the places that have themed rooms or different shaped beds or mirrors here, mirrors there,
mirror ceiling.
or like
Every
different
time.
sort of like
Mirrored
lights
ceilings
there.
every time. Fairy lights. Oh, fairy lights.
Yeah,
There was
sets the mood. That
gives it with a bit of an atmosphere
Yeah,
rather than you say
definitely.
just
Something that adds to the escapism.
Yeah. It's like something you wouldn't get at home or a hotel, would you? You wouldn't get a room that's got mirrors
emphasises the
all the way
fantasy
around.
side of it all.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're not going to get this in a hotel. You're not going to get this in your house. You're not going to get this around your neighbour's house or whoever, wherever you are.
It's quite cool.
Sort of that's what brings the allure to it, because you're sort of like, it's different. It's new. You're only going to get this in one place.
Yeah.
It's quite naughty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it feels naughtier.
And when you're in a room with mirrors on the ceiling and under walls, and you're looking and seeing penises going in vagina and mouth at the same time from 17 different angles at the same time, it's mind-blowing. I mean, we said that, it's like, how do we get a mirror on our roof without causing suspicion to the kids? Well, Mum, Dad, why you got a mirror on the roof? Wow. The old man wants to see your mum's arse booting around as she's like, yeah, you can't say that because that's frowned upon massively.
I just want to make sure the back of my hair is perfect.
No, I think what our ideal club would be, lots of themed rooms, private rooms. That's just our preference. We're not on to putting a big public display of affection on. You know,
it's just the escapism of it. Yeah.
But also clubs that have a party area, so you can go and have a dance and a boogie and a chat. But also you've got sort of quieter areas where you can go and chat to people.
We find that in other clubs that we didn't. Cupid's had that other clubs that we've been to haven't. Like they've got no social areas away from the dance floor.
Yeah.
So you can congregate in corridors.
Yeah.
So, and like we do, we congregate in corridors. You know, you loiter almost. You know what I mean?
That's where we do all the pickups, isn't it? Hallways, doorways,
and hallways,
corridors. Oh, like the normal one as well. That's probably because it's so cold up until recently. Anyway, radiators.
Hug a radiator. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Didn't you discuss the very first time when I was with another lady?
Yes.
I feel a bit embarrassed talking about this. I came back from the toilet and you'd already set it up and organised it.
Yeah.
And that freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hadn't given him any warning that... The hard thing is that we'd been to the club a few times, a couple of times, and I'd got that feeling that, actually, do you know what, I think I would be okay with him playing with a woman.
It was more for you than me.
Yeah, I know. But I thought, I don't say it this time. What if it happens and I change my mind?
Yeah.
So I thought, no, I'm going to leave it tonight and see how I feel if it happens again. So the next time it was like, no, actually, I know I am. I'm really okay with it. And we were just with our friends chatting away, and then I just turned round to...
There was a whole group of us.
There was a whole group of us, and I just literally dropped it on him like a bombshell.
Are you going to go and fuck her? We've already talked about it. I was just like, what?
Yeah, which was a bit cruel because obviously you weren't prepared.
It was
just put on the spot almost.
It was a learning process.
It was a learning
Jesus
process,
Christ, if she'd done that to me, I'd be like, no, Tura, I'm off.
Yeah, you'd be really horrified, wouldn't you?
No.
I did apologise afterwards and said, I'm so sorry.
We had talked about it a bit.
Yeah, we
And
had
it was just
conversations,
about
but it just...
It was still a
exploring,
shock.
but
He wasn't expecting me to go the full on, I'm happy for you to play.
Yeah.
So it kind of,
reliving that moment. Great.
So have you got... We've had people on the podcast before that have said, they have a list of things that they want to do.
You know they've got a hit list. They've got loads of stuff.
No, so the things they want to do, not the men they want to do.
You know, even on the drive here, we were talking about it, weren't we? Yeah. We're always talking about it. Always.
And it's always me, because I'm listening to these podcasts and listening to other people's experiences, ideas, what they've got up to.
And Reddit's your favourite as well.
Yeah.
Have you got to the stage where you go past a building and you go, that would make a cool club?
Oh, don't. Yes!
You got to that stage. High five!
Definitely.
Have you even discussed what we name our club?
Yes!
Everybody does it. It's like, what would you call it? Where would
What
it
would
be?
we have in it?
The best is when we go out for something to eat or just casually walking around town on a Saturday morning or whatnot. It's like, so, do you reckon they're a swinger?
You have to play the swingers game. You have to spot the swinger.
Are they a swinger?
We were abnormal.
Statistics.
No.
In this pub right now, there has to be more than just me and you that are up to this like naughty stuff.
Do you do that whole thing where if you see a couple and they literally can't leave each other alone, they're either you're either having an affair or you're swingers?
Yeah.
Because
It's paid you.
I usually see them, they're in like a really flash car, he's got a loud shirt, and I'm like, there is a swinger. He's a swinger.
We went to it was in the gym the one night, weren't we? And then we decided we was going to go into the bar and whatnot after. And there was this couple sat in the jacuzzi and they was chatting and we went into the jacuzzi and they just went really quiet, didn't they? And then they got out. I was like, 100% they were swingers. 100%. You just look at people and you sort of like...
They had the look.
Pair of dirty buggers. I know that. You can just tell. You give off this aura of like, you like having naughty sex with different people.
See, last week's podcast, Mr. N went on and said that it's only 5%
Well, it says.
of the population that are swingers. I don't believe
Have
that.
you been asked by any surveys? I've never been asked. How do they get these? Exactly.
There is a lot more swingers out there than they are
100%
letting
there is.
on.
Amount of people, even on Tinder, not on the non-monogamous section, on the normal section of Tinder, will go on someone that, what are you looking for? A threesome. And total random people all going, not had a good threesome in ages.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? How many
What's your fab
people
name?
are there?
Exactly, yeah.
I think it's such a difficult demographic to work out because you've got people from all classes, you've got people from all different places.
Yeah.
One thing does seem to be certain, the West Midlands seems to have a lot more dirty buggers in it than ever.
Oh, yes.
It's the capital of Swingville.
We're moving to the West Midlands.
We're kind of on
We're
the...
not
I was about to say, you're on the border, aren't you?
we're not far away.
We are quite lucky where we're located
We're in the
because
centre
we're
of
sort of
clubs.
40 minutes at a push to 4 or 5 clubs.
Different clubs.
And it's
So we're
all
in,
quite easy for us. I mean, we've got Attic, 40 minutes, Cams, 40 minutes. We've not tried Cams yet, but that again
It's on
is
the
on
list.
the hit
Oh,
list.
that's what we're looking. We're
Extasia.
working through a different club a month at the moment.
You're like...
So that's
Extasia, 35, 40 minutes away.
Curious Club, if we were to
Curious
go back,
Club,
is
Nuneaton.
25 minutes away.
That's our closest one.
Yeah.
But you've also got
The
a couple in
Is it
Birmingham.
Upside Down Pineapple? That's in Leicester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got that one. I mean, Leicester's not even far for us. I mean, we've got Purple Mamba in Nottingham. That's also on the list.
Have you done Purple Mamba?
No, it's on our list. We've got a list. We're working away from it.
July the
25th.
25th.
We're not here.
V2V are doing a full-on proper 70s swing night.
Oh my god, that would have been brilliant as
We're
well.
talking keys in a bowl. We're talking cheese
You don't have
and
to shag the
pineapple.
people in the bowl.
You don't, no.
It's just a
What do you mean
dating.
people in the bowl? Are you squeezing people into a bowl?
Just their
Is
heads.
this a big bowl, is it? Or is this a euphemism for something else?
Look like a spaceman.
Yes.
But you've got to check Mamba out. Mamba's like...
It's
Is it really
beautiful.
good?
Club.
Oh.
And Chris and Amanda, who run it, are just,
Yeah.
they are brilliant.
We've got a huge list of clubs, and we're going to try and get through one every month, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got Pandora's on our list of places up in Leeds. That's on our
Vanilla
place.
Alternative.
Yeah, Vanilla Alternatives is another place
It
I
is a
want
cool
to try.
club. Big.
Is it?
It is a big club, yeah.
So
I
there's a
like big
couple
clubs
of...
because you like to explore.
We like to explore now.
There
Whenever
is
you used to.
definitely lots to explore
We do
there.
like to explore now.
And
Yeah.
VA is very different because it's all very open play.
yeah.
There's you haven't got any private
Yeah,
rooms at VA.
Yeah, it's all
But,
open, isn't it?
It's kind of like... It is, although you don't have to be an exhibitionist.
They do have a
but-
couples.
They have a couple, yeah,
Couples
but couples
room,
are not
don't
going to
they?
be good for hot wife
No.
scenario, is it? Really?
Well, I don't have to be the part of the couple. She can hot wife with somebody else.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
you can, yeah,
That's
you
true,
can,
yeah.
you can.
Good think
she,
about that
and then
situation.
she can come out and say, "Come on, then, your turn."
Yeah, and you can still go in. It's a very good point. It's a very
Yeah,
good
that's a
point.
very good point. Never bet no one ever thinks of that, do you?
There you go.
Yeah.
Up here for thinking.
Yeah, so that's what on our to-do list is
Yeah.
different clubs, situations in the bedroom we want to try. There's a few different things, isn't there? But yeah, again, it's finding that right person. The whole
Yeah.
trust thing and
Yeah.
respect thing, and like, I mean, we've done the whole I think we are very vanilla in this world. You know, when you talk to other people about what they've
Oh,
done.
really?
I don't know.
It's like I haven't spoke to any of my mates or anything about what they get up to.
I meant in this world.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
in
we're
this
not.
world, we're quite vanilla compared to other
I
people.
don't know. I think everybody thinks that everyone else is more hardcore than they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, and then you actually realise, no, I'm just as dirty as they are.
Please go and ask your friends at work how many have had 2 penises in their vagina at the same time.
Okay.
And then come back to me and say that you are straight up Madagascar villain.
Okay. That's one thing that we've tried once, and that's on the list to try again. Obviously, the first time you try anything, it's always a bit hit and miss, isn't it? And it's like, oh, did that work? Did it not work? So we always say, we'll try it once, then we'll try it again.
Yeah.
You know, won't ever write anything off the first time or second. You know, we'll try again. It wasn't a bad experience, but first time's awkward. Everything's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but it's just kind of
It's
finding.
quite a bit daunting the first time you ever sort of rub balls with somebody.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what what? No,
Should I like this? Should I like this? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get on board with this.
And the other guys also got to be okay with it. So
Yeah.
it's, again, we've got to find someone we trust. And
It's not something you can just crack on in the room and sort of like,
Has
it
to be
does need sort of
discussed,
like
yeah.
prior sort of like communication, because if he's sort of like really not feeling it, then
Yeah,
when
you-
you sort of
yeah.
like slide your penis next to his inside.
So it's a case of just finding someone to just explore with, really, isn't it? That's all we're trying
It's
to
playing,
do.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just playing. It's
You
playing.
guys have an amazing attitude to the hobby. Absolutely amazing.
Thank
If
you.
it don't work.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming today.
I
really
honestly thought I
enjoyed
could
it.
sit and talk to you for hours, because it's just like your enthusiasm, but you also, it feels like you've been in the naughty hobby for a long time. You've got
No,
experience.
since
You're very,
October.
Yeah,
Yeah.
October last year.
October last
but
year.
you just like, you've got your feet firmly on the,
We
on
know
the
what we
ground
want.
as well.
We
You
know what we want.
Yeah.
So I think I emailed you in the September when we sort of like seriously started to sort of say, yeah, okay, we're going to go
Yeah.
for this.
And then it's like I've emailed some
'Cause
real
you-
swingers, babe. And I was like, real swingers.
Because you found the podcast, didn't you?
And then he got really excited when you emailed back. Really excited.
That's
I was
Mrs.
like,
Ed.
really
Mrs. Ed.
excited.
I do return
Here you
messages.
are, sitting in the cupboard.
There we are.
He honestly nearly lost his mind when you sent your number. He was like,
It's true. Mrs. Ed,
I'm
Mrs. Ed.
buying this.
Take it as a compliment that you're not a weirdo.
Definitely.
So if you were giving people, new people, so that are just starting out or just thinking about it, what advice would you give them?
Talk.
Communication.
Talk. Be relentless with
Yeah,
it.
before you even set
You
foot in a
can't
bedroom.
talk too much. You can't discuss too much. There is no topic that was be out of bounds, because you need to discuss everything. You need to sort of try and think and plan
Every
all
eventuality.
scenarios that could happen,
Yeah.
might happen, might not happen, how you could feel, how you're not going to feel. I researched it religiously. That's all I talked about. Not because it was getting me off, but I just needed to play.
Yeah.
Every scenario.
I needed to run scenarios
You had
through my
to be
head. I had to
sure.
envision
Yeah.
I
it.
didn't want to ruin anything.
I had to sort of like, because when we went into it, I was like, no matter what's going to happen, if I go into this room and you start having sex with this bloke and I don't like it, I will shout stop and he
Yeah.
will leave. And
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to deal with it,
Yeah.
but what I can tell you and I can promise you is I'm not going to
Yeah.
leave you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop loving you
But I
because
might
we've gone
sulk
into-
in the corner for
but
an
I will
hour.
sort of, if I
Yeah.
go quiet, please don't take that as a sort of sign as
Yeah.
I've had enough of the relationship. I can't unsee it.
Just
But there is
processing
no
it.
magic rewind
There's
button.
no magic
Yeah.
rewind.
So
but I can
communication was up there on
definitely
everything.
and
So
talk about your fantasies in bed with each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
it always
Because
works.
if you can't get yourself, if it doesn't sort of emphasise and make that sort of part of sex better for that while you're talking about it, like, Christ, we haven't come like that forever.
or you're not comfortable.
Or
That's
not-
another one. If
if you
it's
can't-
awkward or not comfortable, it's never going to be comfortable in real life.
That's a good tip. That
Never gonna
is,
be
because
comfortable.
that should be a red flag
Yeah.
to you. That if you, with your own partner, if you
Yeah.
can't fantasize and feel comfortable about it, then you're not
Yeah.
ready.
If you're,
Stop there.
if you're cringing
Yeah.
inside and you're like, oh no,
You know,
it's
and
not going
even
to work.
after the sort of like the post nut clarity, once you've sort of like, you know, all of the excitement's gone, you've sort of like hit that sort of like bit of a lull after, you're like, ugh. If you feel sort of like funny about it, or you feel a bit dirty, or you feel a bit like, you know, when you haven't
Yeah.
had a bath for a couple of days or something, you feel a bit riffy, like if you feel a bit off,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't have them kind of feelings, because I've
Yeah.
never had them feelings. When we've done it, it was like, oh, yeah, well, that worked, that was hot.
And
Yeah.
we always reclaim.
Yeah, that's the
That's
best
the
bit.
best bit.
You
Reclaim
have
sex.
to. You have to. It's like no other. There's no other.
It's almost as if we do everything we do
It's
for that.
foreplay. It's almost like that's
Yeah.
the foreplay
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
At the end of
Yeah.
the day, you do what you do, but at the end of it, you're
Yeah.
back together.
Yeah.
It is for you, and only you know about it, and it's your thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, you have one of the best attitudes. I can say
Absolutely.
we've done 144 episodes.
Yeah.
You have one of the best attitudes I've ever seen. to the whole Naughty Hobby. I think
Thank
you're just a gorgeous couple.
You are a gorgeous
you.
couple, and thank you so much for agreeing to come on.
Oh no,
and
brilliant! I
tell
think
everybody. So
you've
been-
made his year.
Aww.
He was so excited.
Listen,
only
if
April.
this guy's going to bring me chocolates every time, then well,
You can't turn up to somebody's
He said-
house uninvited
he said to me-
without something, can you?
Mrs. N, she likes sweets stuff. She has put sweets on tables at clubs. We need to go and get some sweet
Oh.
stuff. So we even did that.
you do realise I put the whole sweets on the table thing is for me, not for anybody
that's
else.
what he
It's just-
That's how much attention
If we
he
was hosting a
pays,
party and we're
bless
supplying
you.
sweets, I wouldn't be supplying sweets for other people. I'd be getting like the gummy bears for me. 'Cause I like them.
And will you promise that you will come to a V2V?
We
Yes.
will do, definitely.
It is on the list
It's
of
on the
places.
list of places to visit.
You will be our guests of honour.
Absolutely.
Honestly, we was put off going to Libs purely because of the big open playroom and was
Yeah.
like, oh, do we want to go and pay the money to there? Because
And
it's
we
not
were
going to be
very
something
new.
that we enjoy.
Very new
But
to it all.
as we're sort of like progressing,
Yeah.
now we realise we do need to go to a club to play with somebody to have a really good night at the club.
Absolutely.
And there's also lots of private rooms, and plus as well, we're all over the place
Yeah.
now. So yeah.
Listen,
So
we
it's
can just sit on the
quite-
sofas and eat sweets if you want. I'm not that.
So,
Mrs. N, Mr. B have found their happy place.
there you go.
Listen, guys, if anybody wanted to get in touch with you,
Yeah,
is-
carry on.
How would they
yeah, how
find
would they
you?
get
on-
We're on Fab as Mr. and Mrs. B 88.
There you
wonderful.
go. You guys are awesome.
I think you're going to hit with a lot of people and resonate with people
Yeah,
that are
we
going
do
through a
try and
similar
guide
journey.
people. Yeah, if people message us and they
Yeah, we
need
love to
this,
help
we
and
we
give
guide us where
advice.
we can.
Yeah.
Where we can, because I was the one asking people for advice. I was asking on Reddit groups, well, how do you sort of deal with jealousy? What do you do in
Yeah.
this situation? How did you react to this?
He's got
Just so I
he's
could get
got
an
a whole
understanding.
following on Reddit that people wanted to know how the first experience went. Over about 500 people were like, "How did it go, mate? How did it go?" And yeah, you had to do a whole nother post just for the people to follow, didn't you?
That's brilliant.
That's so cool.
So we're going to conquer the world. Between you and me, we're going to
That's
conquer
it.
this world.
Gummy bears in hand. Just take it on.
Bless you, my lovelies. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It has. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.